all of them I've known at least a decade or more. They're going to talk about their journey, and as graduate students and students in master's programs and even undergraduates, I want to sort of have their stories inspire you. The first speaker, who I've known since he was in high school, is going to talk about how he built his career, because I wanted that as a signature. And then he's going to talk about how innovation happens in business. So that is our first speaker. Our second speaker, who I've known also for more than a decade, is Dr. Ping Xu. He's going to talk about innovation in technology and a global scalable business. So he's going to talk about hydrogen and how that can be scaled across the world. And our last speaker, Keegan, who I've known since he was a graduate student, and I've published with him, pivoted and became an intellectual property, how should I put it, as a giant, because he's single-handedly with others built this beautiful law firm, which he's going to talk about. And he's going to talk about some war stories, I hope.
Innovation and high reliance on systems and habits is the positive. I'll pause with this part of the conversation I want to have with you. Exchange ideas by being parts of networks. Build skill stacks in addition to your speciality. Put yourself in uncomfortable change positions. And don't rely on motivation, but rely on systems and habits.
We cannot change the past, okay, but we can shape our future. That's what we need to do. That's what Innovation Energy is doing. We aspire to solve the challenge for a sustainable future, create a world of beautiful energy through all the technologies and innovation.
You really have to connect kind of the science and the legal and the commercial aspects of this in order to be as successful as possible. If you can have the greatest invention on earth, like, you could invent something that, saves all the babies, but you have no idea how to market that. I mean, if you don't know how to market saving babies, that might be a big problem. But you have some game-changing technology, right? But if you're unable, if you're the only person that ever do that, and you have the intellectual property on that, the value of that intellectual property becomes significantly less, right? Unless that technology becomes proliferated. So there's a lot of commercialization considerations that need to be taken into account. You work with that stuff every day and you think, nothing I'm doing is that cool, right? And it turns out almost everything that I was doing was really cool because no one had ever done it before. And it's the small tweaks. Most of the things in invention is a combination of known elements. Taking two known things and putting it together, right? In a non-obvious, never known before experience. Don't be discouraged about not knowing how exactly to do something. I don't know how to do what I'm doing right now. I certainly don't know how to run a firm that's a global firm the size of it, because I've never done it before in my life and I don't have a Harvard MBA. I'm just figuring these things out as I go and using the resources that I have. I think it's know the things where you can affect change and know the things where you cannot.
But if you are, while you're doing very fundamental research, you also have to be very clear as to why you are in the lab. What's the transformative nature of what you're doing? That is the connector. Because even though you may be publishing papers in very high journals, you have to understand its translational value. For example, in my case, I work on electrocatalysts, but I never work on anything which I myself feel is not scalable. And by God, I know people who can make 5 milligrams of a wonderful catalyst, but it can't be scalable. It has no value, in my opinion.
Okay, but we have the capabilities. Like my team, our corporate have the experts from all the different areas. We feel that by doing this, and then we can really accelerate innovation to address climate change. That's what we have.
much.